Hello and thanks for joining us for France in Focus. In this edition, we're examining the state of French industry. Whether it's car manufacturing, textiles, food processing, or in this case, a factory which makes toothbrushes, French products and know-how are renowned throughout the world. Well, buying products that are made in France and supporting national industry is something the politicians are talking about a lot in this, an election year. But does this really make economic sense? Let's take a look.
In 2016, about 1 out of every 3 French cars was manufactured in France. Renault has relocated one factory to Morocco and manufactures its Twingo model in Slovenia. Peugeot's brand PSA makes cars in Slovakia. So how can France replace the jobs it has lost? The National Front says U.S. President Donald Trump is right. Pressure should be applied on car makers until they return their plants home.
This method works, and we have to use it in France. Stop saying we can't do it. We think economic patriotism is a solution.
Others disagree. On the right, the Republican Party says
France and its economy must be appealing. Twisting companies' arms isn't the solution.
Is France even allowed to twist arms as member of the European Union? The answer is no. Goods are transported freely across the bloc, including French-branded cars manufactured in eastern states. If France wants to raise tariffs on products imported from countries outside of Europe, all 28 member states must agree. Even if countries were able to raise tariffs, would that be effective? Economists don't all agree. This one says protectionism works.
Production sites would be relocated to France. By using protectionist tools, authorities can bring back 500,000 to 1 million jobs.
Others believe raising taxes will harm the economy. Cars would be more expensive and other sectors could be hit.
If you pay more for your car, then you'll spend less on restaurants and hairdressers. Many people work in these sectors, and their jobs would be at risk.
Leftist candidate to the presidential election, Benoît Hamon, says there are ways to save jobs without risking others. Most relocations are made within Europe. Hamon says if Western member states force others to apply the same standards, the same salaries, French cars wouldn't be much more expensive than others, and business could thrive once again.
Now, when you brush your teeth, you probably don't spend a lot of time wondering where your toothbrush came from. The chances are it wasn't made here in Europe, but you never know, because we're now at the last remaining toothbrush factory here in France. And I'm joined now by the company's director, Olivier Remoissonnier. Very nice to meet you, Olivier. Just start by telling us, how is it that you're here producing toothbrushes still when so many others have gone out of business?
We are a company with 170 years of expertise. We asked ourselves how we could build on that expertise in the globalized marketplace world of today. So we decided to reposition our market sector. We no longer do mass distribution. We sell direct to clients online through subscriptions and also sales in organic shops, which allows us to reach people who are looking to come back to quality, value products.
Can I see one of your toothbrushes? So it has the French flag on it. Are you proud that your toothbrushes are made here in France?
Oh yes, we always try to instill a message which is clear for our customers, and one of our values is to be made in France. Having the bristles colored like the French flag reminds people of that fact. On top of that, it's the way we make our products. Along with my 30 colleagues, we keep the Made in France idea close to us all the time. We're proud to be attached to a production line that's both local and willing to demonstrate years of expert knowledge.
Doing business here in France is expensive. Anyone will tell you that. The cost of labor, there's a lot of labor laws. Wouldn't it just be better and more cost-effective to outsource all the production to, I don't know, China?
Yes, costs are higher in France, only we're looking for other values. Of course, machine automation allows us to reduce worker costs, but we aim to be a brand of knowledge and ethics. Our products do not travel 10,000 kilometers to end up by a sink. That's to say, we produce for the French market, and when we export, it's to nearby countries. We can also accurately trace all the materials we use in our products. That's important because the toothbrush is something you put in your mouth. There can't be any ambiguity around where the materials come from. Are those materials hygienic enough to be in contact with the mucus of the mouth, for example? We are able to provide clear information on all of that.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for sharing that with us. Olivier Remoissonnier, thank you again.
Merci.
We're going to turn our eye now from toothbrushes to textiles. That's a sector with a history spanning many centuries here in France. But in the face of fierce competition, many manufacturers have fallen by the wayside, but not all of them. Let's take a look now at how some manufacturers have managed to buck that trend.
Thread reels running at full speed. And today this factory is booming and exporting its output across the globe. But with the industry facing a crisis, the company was forced to drastically reduce its workforce and relocate part of its production to Asia. 3 years ago, the CEO felt there were changes afoot. He decided to reopen a workshop here in France.
The Made in France label matters. We feel that our customers appreciate it. It is a guarantee of quality. We have at Textec a system whereby the Chinese actually come and see what we make here in France.
With the production line resuming, 30 new jobs were created. But to gain a competitive edge, Valérie Dalle had to tap niche markets. Among them, nautical ropes and even medical textiles. In this sterilized workshop, employees make artificial ligaments and gastric rings.
We have technical know-how in a niche market, and big industrialists in the medical profession come to us as we deal with the textile side of things, which they are not clued up on.
In the Loire Valley, this textile company also found a second wind. Today it hires some 70 employees, reaching an average annual growth of 10 to 15%. Its specialities, jacquard weaving and technical fabrics, ultra-absorbing or anti-inflammables, for example. It's putting itself at the forefront of innovation.
We produce 700 new fabrics a month. We feed this creative market permanently.
In this case, they had to overhaul the company. 25% of all profits were transferred to the employees. They were given the freedom to select their own timetables, assign their own responsibilities, and even set up their own businesses using both company resources and know-how. So far, 3 startups have been launched.
I think that we're trusted, that we're not policed. We're more autonomous, more creative, and that gives us a desire to go to work in the morning.
Despite the textile craze in France and the boost in the sector, the general trend continues to remain downward. Between 2014 and 2015, the industry lost around 2,700 jobs.
Well, unless you manage to create a niche for your products, like the manufacturers we saw in that report, staying ahead of the competition most likely requires a certain amount of automation. But some people feel that France has been slow on the uptake when it comes to embracing new technology.
An intelligent robot capable of performing man's most tedious tasks and even move by itself. That is the industrial future.
This is a self-guiding vehicle. It can locate itself and knows where to go to deliver a product.
A digital and intelligent factory which uses robots, that's what this laboratory facility in the Paris area is trying to promote. Here, employees are guided on a daily basis using technology, for example, to put a scooter together.
It tells me which part to take, so it goes here, the next part which I place, and as you can see there's an arrow that tells me exactly where it goes.
The purpose of the showcase is to accelerate the integration of these technologies in French industries, because when it comes to futuristic workshops, France is lagging behind, in particular when you compare them with other leading industrial nations. The USA, Italy, the UK, or even Germany started their transition towards these technologies quite a while ago. The result? Germany has 4 times as many robots as France, Italy has twice as many. But those figures should be put into perspective.
If we compare the number of robots to the number of employees, the gap isn't significant at all. France's development is slow because there are many small businesses who don't have the means to invest. That is why European competitors have already moved on. Here, employers are convinced that they're going to be rewarded for their investments.
A government scheme launched in 2015 aims to help and guide small businesses and industries into the future. 2 years later, the progress is clear. Almost 1,500 small businesses are currently modernizing their approach. That's good news for the manager of this laboratory, who is persuaded that this technological revolution will boost the French economy.
What this is going to create is a shift in development policies. Factories will return to advanced countries and therefore create employment.
A view which all economists don't agree with. Some believe that more robots will lead to fewer jobs.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of France in Focus. Thank you very much indeed for watching. See you again soon here on France 24.